Welcome to my channel. Today we will start the current electricity, and in that one we will study about Ohm's law and some basic terms related with the Ohm's law. Let us start. So current electricity, concept of charge, current and potential difference and resistance, Ohm's law. These all the topics today we will cover in theory part, and along with that I will include the PDF of this lecture with the, you can download it with the description from the description box. So let us start one by one. So initially we will discuss about the concept of charge. First term we have concept of charge. That's we know what is the charge. Charge is the flow of electron. Now already we know what is the electron, what is the proton and what is the neutron. That's we know. About one more basic part we can say, okay, this is any atom. Atom consists a heavier part which is called the nucleus. Inside the nucleus there is neutron and proton, and around the nucleus electrons are revolving. So this was the structure of atom. So electrons are in the conductor. So conductors, now what are the conductors? Conductors are those materials through which heat and electricity can pass easily. That is the conductor, and which does not allow to pass the current and heat. Those are called the insulators. So conductors and insulators, which allow the current, that is conductor, which does not allow the current, that is the insulator. Now concept of charge. We will talk about conductor. Suppose we have mentioned over here, this is any conductor, this is any conductor. So inside the conductor there are the free electrons, and free electrons are always in random motion. These all are the electrons. But electrons are in random motion. Their motion is not oriented in any particular direction. This electron may drift to this direction, this may to this direction, this may to this direction, this may to this direction. Means direction of electron is not specific. They are drifting. So this is the first condition. Inside any conductor, this kind of arrangement of electrons takes place. Now as we apply the battery across it, battery or cell across it, so what happens? These electron, the drifting of electron becomes in a specific direction. सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में मूव करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे when we apply the battery or cell. So why that happens वो भी हम बात करेंगे, but अभी फिलहाल we are talking about this part कि when we apply the voltage or battery or cell, these electrons start to move in a particular direction. So we know direction of current is this one, and direction of flow of electron is conventional to the direction of flow of current. So all electrons will arrange in, they will move in a particular direction. So this will be the direction of flow of each electron. This specific it becomes. So due to flow of electron, means what are the charges? First of all, charge, concept of charge. Charge is the flow of electrons. So initially we have tried the concept of charge. What is the charge? It is the flow of electron. It is the flow of electron. Now electron have charge E is equals to charge on electron, sometimes we write it by Q or E. E is equals to, E means charge on electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, and unit of charge is coulomb. Unit of charge is coulomb. So what is charge? It is the flow of electron, and charge on electron is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. As these electrons are flowing in a particular direction, so due to flow of electron, we will say current is flowing. So next part we will have, what is the unit of charge? So unit of charge is coulomb. Unit of charge is coulomb. So unit of charge is coulomb. It is represented by capital C, coulomb. And already I have mentioned charge on electron, it is E, and charge is represented by Q. Charge is represented by Q. So Q, it is number of electron into charge on each electron. Terms must be clear. What is Q over here? Q is the total charge. Total charge or charge. N is the number of electrons. Number of electrons. And E is the charge on each electron. Charge on electron or each electron. So total charge becomes number of electrons into charge on each electron. And we know what is the charge on each electron. We have to remember it. It is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. And always while we will write it, we will write in terms of magnitude, means no negative sign. It will be only positive magnitude we are talking. So it will be 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Now next part is the concept of current. What is the concept of current? When, as we have mentioned over here in this diagram, when electrons are flowing, when we apply the source of voltage or potential difference, so electrons are flowing in the conductor from one end to another end, from one part to another part. During that we will say current is flowing. So what is the observation? What is the concept of current? What is the concept of current? It is nothing but flow of charge. It is the rate of flow of charge. What is the current? It is the rate of flow of charge. And we know, if in physics rate word comes, it means that term will be divided by time. Which term? Rate of what? Charge. Rate of flow of charge means flow of charge, that is charge divided by time. So we'll write what is the current, concept of current. We can write what is the current. It is the rate of flow of charge. Rate of flow of charge by definition. So we can write it is the rate of flow of charge. So current, we can write it like this: current is equals to charge, flow of charge upon time. Rate word has come. If in physics rate word comes, it means that term will be divided by time. यहाँ कौन सा टर्म है? चार्ज का रेट. Rate of charge means charge divided by time. And we know current is represented by I is equals to charge is represented by Q and time is represented by T. So I will be Q by T. One more term is there, that Q. What is Q? Q we can write it as Q is any number of electrons into charge on each electron, and T is the time. So entire formula can be written as like this. Now next term we can write the unit of current also. Unit of current from here. What will be unit of current? Unit of current. Unit of current. So what is the current already? We have studied it is the flow of charge. Rate of flow of charge, it means charge upon time. So we can write, since I is equals to Q by T, where Q is the charge. So unit of current will be unit of charge upon unit of time. And we know what is the unit of charge? It is coulomb, and unit of time is second. So it can be written as coulomb per second, and coulomb per second itself is ampere, which is represented by capital A on behalf of the name of the scientist, Ampere. Next part is the concept of potential and potential difference. Concept of potential and potential difference. What is the potential? By definition we have potential. The potential at a point is defined as the amount of work done per unit charge in bringing a positive test charge from infinity to that point. First of all, in detail I will discuss about the potential and potential difference, then we will come back to the definition. Potential and potential difference. What is the potential and potential difference? First, I think so it is the first time when we are listening. Potential and potential difference. We will talk about one thing. This is the battery, not battery, it is a cell, because it have only one positive terminal and only one negative terminal. So this is the cell. Battery is the number of cells. Number of cells is called battery. This is positive terminal and this is the negative terminal of this cell. Now we in our daily life we use one word कि battery get discharge. Now what is the meaning of battery get discharge? It means potential difference of this battery becomes 0. Now what is the potential difference? Positive potential is called higher potential, negative potential is called lower potential. If that difference comes less, smaller, and finally both become same, then we will say now they don't have the potential difference. Potential difference can also be discussed like this way. If we pour the water from a certain height, it always comes down. Why? Because water flow from high to low. Temperature or heat always flow from high to low. Anything, it is a practical observation, or we can say it is the phenomenon of physics. Anything will flow from high to low. So same way here in battery, this positive potential means higher potential, negative potential means lower potential, and the difference between positive potential and negative potential, or difference between higher potential and lower potential is called the potential difference. For this for this cell, potential difference of this cell will be positive potential minus negative potential. That is the basic concept regarding the potential difference. And current and charge will flow through any conductor if there will be potential difference. If there is no potential difference, no flow of charge or no flow of current will takes place. So, any electronic circuit in which we apply the battery or the connection with the battery or cell, then it is start to operate, because when we apply the battery, it provides the potential difference, so it start to work. That is the basic concept of potential and potential difference. Just we have to read it. So, concept of potential and potential difference. Potential, the potential at any point is defined as amount of work done per unit charge in bringing a positive test charge from infinity to that point. Charge we are bringing from where? Positive charge we are bringing from any point, that is from infinity to a fixed point. Then whatever work is required during that one, that is the electric potential. If we are bringing the charge, then it is electric potential. If we are bringing the mass, then it will be gravitational potential. The difference is there. So once again, if we have to bring, now try to understand it practically, if we have to bring a unit positive charge of 1 coulomb plus 1 coulomb from infinity to any point, to any fixed point, then whatever work we have to do, that will be potential. Unit charge we are bringing from any point, from one point to another point, then definitely we have to do some work, because we are bringing it from here to here, and that is the electric potential. That definition is here. The potential at any point is defined as the amount of work done per unit charge in bringing a positive test charge from infinity to that point. Just we can understand it by this diagram also. Any charged body is here, and any charged body, and this is test charge, positive test charge plus Q. It is situated at infinity. It is situated at infinity, and we are bringing this charge from infinity to a fixed point P. Then definitely we have to do some work for the bringing this charge from here to here. So that is called electric potential. Okay. So simply electric potential is represented by V. So I can write potential or electric potential V is work done per unit charge. So V will be W by Q. And from here, if we wish to calculate what will be work done during that one, means what will be work done when we are bringing unit charge from infinity to a fixed point or from one point to another point, that we can calculate by this formula. W will be Q into V. What I did? Just by doing the cross multiplication. Okay. Next term is, terms must be clear. I can write once. What is V? V is the electric potential. What is W? It is work done. And what is Q? It is the charge. Now unit of electric potential potential. So we know what is the formula for electric potential, since V is equals to W by Q. So unit of V, that is potential, is equals to unit of work done, unit of work upon unit of charge, unit of charge. So we know unit of work is joule upon unit of charge is coulomb. So it can be written as V is equals to, unit of V will be joule per coulomb, or itself it is called volt. It is represented by V, capital V. It is the unit of potential difference or electric potential. Now, how we can define it? 1 volt. How we can define 1 volt? As I have mentioned, what is V? What is V? V is W by Q. V is W by Q. Now 1 volt will be, unit of work done is 1 joule. Joule, but we are writing everything as 1 upon 1 coulomb. So we can say simply 1 volt will be 1 joule upon 1 coulomb. So we can say when the potential will be said as 1 volt if we are bringing 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to any point, and if we are doing the work of 1 joule during that one, then the potential will be said as 1 volt. Next, that's definition is here. The potential at any point is said to be 1 volt when 1 joule of work is done in bringing 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to that point. 1 volt is 1 joule upon 1 coulomb, and it is this term. Okay, next term is potential difference. Difference between potential, as earlier I said, there are the two potentials. One is higher potential and second is lower potential. I was given the example of this battery. Positive potential is higher potential, negative potential is lower potential. Difference between higher potential and lower potential is called the potential difference. Or in case of battery, we will say difference between the positive potential and negative potential will be called as potential difference. So similar concept as earlier one, it is the potential difference between 2 points is equal to work done per unit charge is moving a positive test charge from one point to another point. So definitely we will say we have one charge Q at this point, at point A, and we want to bring it at this, or we can say during that one, what is the potential at A? If potential at A is VA and potential at B it is VB, and we are bringing the charge from A to B, then during that one, what will be difference of these two? It will be VA potential at A minus potential at B. This potential difference is same as the work done per unit charge. So potential difference between 2 points is equal to work done per unit charge in moving a positive test charge from one point to other point. Okay, so we get this formula by that one. Unit of potential difference, it will be same as the potential, electric potential. So it will be volt. So the potential difference between 2 points is said to be 1 volt if the work done in moving 1 coulomb of charge from one point to other is 1 joule. Means if we have to bring this 1 coulomb of charge, Q should be 1 coulomb, 1 coulomb of charge from point A to point B, and if our work is 1 joule, then the potential difference will be said as 1 volt. Okay. Unit of potential difference already we have mentioned, it is same. Now concept of resistance. Concept of resistance. Resistance, what is resistance? It is the opposition offered by the conductor to flow of current. For this one we can understood it better way as like in any conductor, as we can understood by this diagram. This is any conductor, and in this conductor electrons are in random motion. Positive ions and negative ions. Negative ions are the electrons and positive ions are the protons, we can say, or positive charge. So these electrons are in random motion. They are in random motion, and as they are in random motion, so what happens? They collide with wall of the container or with themselves also, but they are in random motion and they are drifting in all possible directions. Now in this diagram we can see, as we are applying the cell or the battery, then during that what happens? These electrons are in a specific, their motion starts in specific directions. So as every electrons are moving in a particular direction, they are rushing in a particular direction. So what happens? They start to collide with each other, and as they collide with each other, they oppose their motion. So that causes resistance. That causes resistance. Simple way, one example we can say, is suppose any classroom is there, and inside the classroom there are number of students completely filled with the students. That classroom is completely filled with the students, and one outlet is there, मतलब single door है वहाँ पे, and through that one everybody have to rush. निकलने का जगह वही है, सिर्फ एक डोर है. So if anybody says कि please everybody come out immediately, so if everybody start to come out from that door, so what will happen? Everybody will collide with each other, and due to collision they will oppose their motion. In terms of this case, in terms of conductor, as we apply the cell or the battery, so due to potential difference, electrons start to move in a particular direction rapidly. As they move, they collide with each other, and as they collide, they oppose their motion. So चार्ज का मोशन अपोज होता है, इलेक्ट्रॉन का मोशन अपोज होता है, कैन वी से ना. सो इन दैट केस वी कैन से फ्लो ऑफ चार्ज हमने क्या पढ़ा है? करंट पढ़ा. रेट ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ चार्ज हमने करंट पढ़ा है. फ्लो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन इज चार्ज. सो चार्ज का अपोज हो रहा है या करंट का अपोज हो रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड द रेसिस्टेंस. So once again, why resistance arises? Due to collision between electrons when we apply the potential difference across the end of the conductor. So that term is about the resistance. So definition: the obstruction offered by the flow of current by the conductor is called its resistance. So everything I have explained. Now Ohm's law. We have to discuss about the Ohm's law. What is the Ohm's law? For Ohm's law, for better understanding, we can draw the diagram. Two diagrams I will draw. One is this. Suppose this is any bulb, and that is connected with the single battery, single cell, and same bulb. Now this bulb is connected with the two cells or battery, we can say. Number of cells is called battery. So in first case, what we will observe, brightness will be less. Now in second case, brightness will be even more. This is one of the observation. Everybody can observe this one. When we use single cell, brightness is less, when we use 2 cells or more cells or battery, then brightness becomes more. So what we can conclude this one? As earlier I said, कि when we apply the battery, then potential difference. In first case, okay, and why bulb glows? Due to current. So by this one we can say, in first case potential difference was less, current was less, so brightness was less. And in second case, potential difference becomes more because we use 2 cells. So as potential difference increases, current also increases. As current increases, brightness also increases. So by this observation we can conclude about the observation, and this observation, from this observation we are getting that potential difference is directly proportional to the current, or current is directly proportional to potential difference. This is the Ohm's law. So what is the Ohm's law? We can say simply कि as potential difference increases, current also increases. So one increases, another also increases. What is the relation between them? Directly proportional. If one increases, another also increases. It means they are directly proportional. So this is the Ohm's law. So statement we can say, if potential difference, okay, we are talking about a statement. If physical condition of a conductor remains same or unchanged, then potential difference across the end of the conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through that conductor. So by this observation we get the concept of Ohm's law, which we can write here. What we are observing? We are observing कि potential difference is directly proportional to the current. V is the potential difference across the end of the conductor, across the ends of conductor, and I is the current flowing through the conductor. Current flowing through conductor. Current flowing through the conductor. So Ohm's law, this is the statement. Okay, we will do one more thing over here. As we have observed, V is directly proportional to I, so V is equals to Ri, because we know as we remove proportionality sign, we write some constant, and here that constant is R. Proportionality constant is R, which is called the resistance. So V is equals to R into I, where R is the resistance. So we can write that part also, where R is proportionality constant which is called resistance, or I can say resistance, not or, but it is called the resistance. This is constant, which is called resistance. Now a statement, what a statement is here? According to Ohm's law, the current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional. Current flowing through the conductor means I is directly proportional. This symbol is to the potential difference, which is V, applied across its ends, provided that the physical condition and the temperature of the conductor remains same. What are the physical condition? Like conductor, length of the conductor comes in physical condition. Area of cross section, this area, pi r square, cross sectional area. So area, length, remains constant and temperature also should be same. Okay, so statement already we have mentioned. So the resistance, okay, this part again we can write, since Ohm's law, V is equals to IR, so R will be V by I. Unit also we can find out, I think so, unit we will write later on. Okay, R is V by I. So resistance is equals to voltage upon, okay, this we can understood by one more thing. I will draw one triangle. By triangle we can learn the formula easily. This triangle will help us to learn the formula easily. Okay, fine. I will write V I R. In this case, if we have to calculate V we have to calculate, then it will be I into R, which is here. If we have to calculate I, then it will be V by R. And if we have to calculate R, then it will be V by I. So all the formulas we can write from here. This is the Ohm's law. Now, thus the resistance of a conductor is numerically equals to potential difference applied across the end of the conductor for the flow of unit current, because R is V by I. R is V by I through it. Now unit of resistance, what we can write about the units of resistance, since resistance R is equals to V, that is voltage, that is V upon, or we can say potential also, and current is I. So we know the unit, so therefore unit of resistance capital R will be unit of volt, unit of potential difference. We will not write voltage over here, we will write potential difference. We will write potential difference. So unit of potential difference is volt upon unit of current is ampere. So it will be volt per ampere, and volt per ampere itself is ohm, OHM. This is the symbol. Volt per ampere is ohm, and this symbol is OHM. We read it, Greek symbol it is ohm. Now we can define the term 1 ohm. What will be 1 ohm? 1 ohm, as we can see the formula, we can write since R is equals to V by I. So when the resistance will be said as 1 ohm, if potential difference is of 1 volt and current is of 1 ampere. This part, this is sufficient to define it. When the resistance will be said as 1 ohm, if 1 ampere current is flowing through a conductor, if that conductor have the potential difference of 1 volt. That same thing is here. The resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm. 1 ohm if 1 ampere of current flows through it when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied across the ends of the conductor. So 1 ohm is 1 volt upon 1 ampere. Now what is the conductance? Conductance, it is defined as the reciprocal of resistance. Reciprocal. It is sometimes represented by C, capital C, conductance. It is the reciprocal of resistance. And we know since okay, so conductance we can write conductance C is equals to reciprocal means 1 upon resistance. So it is 1 by R. Unit of conductance is per ohm, or sometimes we write MHO, this term. Graph of Ohm's law, as we have mentioned, what is the Ohm's law? It is V is directly proportional to I. So V is equals to RI and R will be V by I. Three things I have to mention. First of all, what is Ohm's law? V is equals to IR, and we know V is proportional to I. So R will be V by I. If we have to calculate the resistance, then we have to plot the graph of current versus potential difference. And we know V by I. So at y-axis voltage should be there and at x-axis current should be there. And if we are finding the slope, so slope of VI graph will give us resistance. Slope of VI graph will give us resistance. So we can write over here also, from this graph R will be delta V upon delta I. From this, what is slope? We know tan theta, this angle is theta. So slope, so resistance in this case we can say resistance R we can find it by finding the slope of VI graph. Okay. Now next term is ohmic and non-ohmic resistances. Ohmic, which follows the Ohm's law, which obeys the Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? V is directly proportional. If we are getting the graph of current versus potential difference straight line. Now this graph is for the ohmic resistance when it is directly proportional, and graph should be straight line. If we are getting a straight line graph, then that will be ohmic, and if it is like this, then this is non-ohmic. So ohmic resistors, the conductors which obey the Ohm's law is called the ohmic resistors or linear resistances. Non-ohmic resistors, the conductors which do not obey the Ohm's law, are called the non-ohmic or non-linear resistances. Some examples are there: LED, solar cell, junction diode, transistor, filaments of a bulb. These all are the non-ohmic. Ohmic, any conductor like copper, silver, gold, iron, aluminium, these all are the ohmic resistors. They follow the Ohm's law, and these are the non-ohmic. Now next part is the factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. Very important topic it is. Factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. Resistance will depend on what factors? So initially we will talk about what is the cause of resistance. In any conductor, if we apply the terminal potential difference, then what we observe? Electrons collide with each other, and due to collision they oppose their motion. Now imagine if the conductor is very long. So in that case what will happen? The electron have to attain a long distance. So during that one, collision will be more and more and more. So more and more collision is going to be there. It means resistance will increase with increase in length. If conductor is very small, it will pass easily. Collision will be less. So we can say resistance will increase with the increase in length of the conductor, and resistance will decrease with the decrease in length. What is the relation between these two? Means what we can conclude by this one? We can conclude that resistance is directly proportional to length of the conductor. And second, if area of cross section, wire is very thin, then resistance will be more. Wire is thick, resistance will be less. That's so many examples I can give. We can get by our surrounding. Like AC का जो वायर होता है वो बहुत थिक होता है. क्यों? बिकॉज दैट नीड मोर करंट. उसको ज्यादा करंट की जरूरत होती है. तो ज्यादा करंट कब फ्लो हो सकता है? जब उसका एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन ज्यादा होगा तो ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो हो सकता है उसके अंदर से. एंड गीजर, washing machine, these all need more current, so more electrons should flow through that one. ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो होने के लिए क्या चाहिए? एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन अगर ज्यादा होगा तो इजीली पास होगा. आयरन, उसका भी वायर थिक होता है, बट एक बल्ब का जो कनेक्शन होता है, बल्ब, एलईडी बल्ब नाउअडेज, उसके लिए हम लोग पतला वायर यूज करते हैं. व्हाट इज द रीजन? बिकॉज उसको कम करंट का जरूरत होता है. कम करंट चाहिए. कम चाहिए तो अगर वायर पतला रहेगा तो भी कम इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का फ्लो चाहिए तो इजीली पास हो जाएगा. तो कोलिजन कम होगा क्योंकि उसको कम चाहिए करंट. बट जिसको करंट ज़्यादा चाहिए और उसमें से उसके लिए अगर हमने पतला वायर यूज़ कर लिया तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन उसके थ्रू भागेंगे. सो दे विल कोलाइड विद ईच अदर एंड ड्यू टू कोलिजन व्हाट विल हैपन? रेसिस्टेंस विल इंक्रीज. तो हमने क्या सीखा? दो चीजें. अगर कंडक्टर का लेंथ ज्यादा है तो रेसिस्टेंस ज्यादा होगा. तो रेसिस्टेंस इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द लेंथ ऑफ द कंडक्टर. एंड सेकेंडली, अगर एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन ज्यादा है तो रेसिस्टेंस कम होगा बिकॉज इजिली इलेक्ट्रॉन विल फ्लो. सो फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूं, अगर एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन ज्यादा होगा तो रेसिस्टेंस कम होगा क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इजीली पास हो जाएंगे, कोलिजन नहीं होगा या कम होगा. दूसरा, अगर एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन कम रखता हूं और उसको इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का जरूरत ज्यादा है तो ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन कम क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया से पास होंगे. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? दे विल कोलाइड मोर एंड मोर. सो दे विल अपोज देयर मोशन एंड दैट विल कॉज मोर रेसिस्टेंस. तो एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन कम है तो रेसिस्टेंस ज्यादा हो रहा है और एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन ज्यादा है तो रेसिस्टेंस कम हो रहा है. सो व्हाट वी कैन कंक्लूड? रेसिस्टेंस इज inversely proportional to the area of cross section. These two things we have to keep in mind. एक, resistance is directly proportional to the length and resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. We will discuss about that. So factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. मटेरियल ऑफ द कंडक्टर, कौन से मटेरियल का है? लाइक सिल्वर हुआ, गोल्ड हुआ, दैट इज द वेरी गुड कंडक्टर. उसका रेसिस्टेंस कम होगा बिकॉज उसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो हो सकते हैं. लेंथ ऑफ कंडक्टर, एज आई हैव मेंशन कि रेसिस्टेंस इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू लेंथ. वी विल राइट लेटर ऑन. थिकनेस मीन्स एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन. इफ थिकनेस इज मोर, रेसिस्टेंस विल बी लेस. सो रेसिस्टेंस विल डिपेंड ऑन द material of the conductor, length of the conductor, thickness of the conductor and temperature of the conductor. So for that I have mentioned over here कि if length is more, that for that I was drawn this diagram कि if length is this one, then number of electrons will flow through it. If we are going to increase the length, so electron का collision ज़्यादा होगा, so resistance will be more. Okay. So no need to do these all the terms because I have explained already. So we can say Okay, what conclusion we have made? Just we can write. Resistance of a conductor. Resistance will be directly proportional to length and resistance will be inversely proportional to area of cross section. These two conclusions we can make from this. So, specific resistance or resistivity, it is represented by rho. Greek word rho. This is rho. So, specific resistance or resistivity, we can say resistance of a conductor is two observations we get, is directly proportional to length of conductor, and second, it is inversely proportional to the area of cross section, area of cross section, that is capital A, I will write. So resistance, which is represented by capital R. So therefore we can conclude from here, resistance of a conductor is directly proportional. Whatever we have written, just we will write that in terms of relation. So R is directly proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to area of cross section. This is 1, this is 2. Now as we will combine the equation 1 and 2, what you will get? Combining equation 1 and 2. Combining equation 1 and 2. Both have the same LHS, so R is proportional to L by A. And as we will remove proportionality sign, we will write R is equals to rho L by A. This rho is the proportionality constant which is called the resistivity. Rho is the specific resistance or resistivity. Rho is the specific resistance or resistivity. Okay, so we can get the value of rho over here. We can write since R is equals to rho L by A. So from here rho will be R A by L. So this term is for the resistivity. Further we will define its, we will find out its unit and everything. So unit of a specific resistance. So we know since specific resistance or resistivity, rho is equals to R A by L, which we have just find from here. So unit of rho, therefore unit of rho will be unit of R is ohm, unit of A, area, that's unit is meter square, upon unit of length is meter. So this term get cancelled. So you will get ohm meter. So we can write unit of resistivity rho is ohm meter. This is one of the unit. Okay. Next term is how we can define the specific resistance or resistivity. So just I will write the formula for this again. What is resistivity? Resistivity is rho is equals to RA by L. So if we are writing, if A area becomes 1 meter square, that is unit area, and length becomes 1 meter, then we can say rho will be r. Then rho will be r. That we are defining actually. That same term. कि rho, specific resistance, is nothing but resistance of a conductor if its area of cross section is 1 meter square and its length is 1 meter. So that we are talking. Specific resistance of a material is the resistance of a wire of that material of unit length. What do you mean by unit length? Length is 1 meter. Unit length and unit area of cross section. Unit means 1 meter square is the unit area of cross section. So this way we can define the term specific resistance. Now next part is the conductivity. What is conductivity? Conductivity is defined as the reciprocal of resistivity. It is the reciprocal of resistivity. Reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity. So conductivity is represented by sigma. So sigma will be 1 by resistivity is rho. 1 by rho or 1 by resistivity. 1 by resistivity. So 1 by resistivity is conductivity. So unit of, we can write also, unit of conductivity will be 1 upon unit of resistivity is ohm meter. So it will be per ohm per meter. You have to remember it. Now last part, choice of material of wire. Choice of material of wire. In our daily life, we use some appliances in our home. For that, what should be the choice of a material of wire? That we have to discuss. So, choice of material of wire. The wires used for electrical connections and for power transmission, like overhead wires through the poles, they should have least resistance. Why? Because if we are using a material of high resistance during power transmission, so due to high resistance, heat will produce, and due to heat, wire will melt. Copper, examples are the copper and aluminium. And next condition, the wire should be thick, because area of cross section is more current can flow through it without resistance. Okay. Next is the resistance wires. Resistance wires or standard resistors. Such wires are of high resistance. One part I have written already, high resistance. And examples of the resistance wires are manganese and constantan. They should have high specific resistance or resistivity. Next is a fuse wire, alloy of lead and tin. You have to remember this. Fuse wire is made up by the alloy of lead and tin. They should have low melting point, high specific resistance. Low melting point. Fuse wire where we use in meter. जहाँ पे हमारा इलेक्ट्रिकल मीटर होता है घर का, वहाँ पे हम लोग फ्यूज़ यूज़ करते हैं. एंड इवन घर में भी इलेक्ट्रिक बोर्ड में हम लोग फ्यूज़ यूज़ करते हैं कि अगर सडनली करंट इंक्रीज हुआ तो दैट वायर शुड मेल्ट. अगर वो वायर मेल्ट हो गया तो कनेक्शन विल स्टॉप. सो दैट वी यूज़ फॉर द सेफ्टी पर्पस. तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक क्या है कि दे शुड हैव लो मेल्टिंग पॉइंट इजिली. थोड़ा सा रेसिस्टेंस बढ़ा तो टेम्परेचर उसका बढ़ा तो मेल्ट हो जाना चाहिए. हाई स्पेसिफिक रेसिस्टेंस. द फिलामेंट ऑफ एन इलेक्ट्रिक बल्ब का जो फिलामेंट होता है वो किसका बना होता है? दैट इज मेड अप ऑफ टंगस्टन. एंड दैट शुड हैव हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट, बिकॉज टेम्परेचर अगर ज़्यादा हुआ मेल्ट हो सकता है, तो दैट शुड हैव हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. एंड next is the heating element in appliances such as the heater, toaster and oven etc. उसमें जो वायर्स होते हैं वो किसके होते हैं? They are made up by the nichrome. So nichrome wire is going to be used in that one. High specific resistance. Those wires should have high specific resistance or high resistivity. And next is the resistance increases with increase in temperature. ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक हैं उन वायर्स की, बिकॉज उनको हम लोग हीट करते हैं, मतलब उनसे हीट जनरेट होता है, तो उनका रेसिस्टेंस बढ़ता है विद द इंक्रीज इन टेम्परेचर, नहीं तो मेल्ट हो जाएंगे. लास्ट पार्ट इज द सेमीकंडक्टर्स. व्हाट आर द superconductors, not semiconductors. Superconductors. A superconductor is a substance of zero resistance or infinite conductance at a very low temperature. Superconductors have zero resistance at very low temperature. So we finish A part. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon for upcoming updates of lectures